Hey, man, what's going on? Okay, I want to talk to you about title companies right now. This is very important. Okay, if you're going to be successful in this real estate business, you have to engender a good business relationship with your title company. And if you're like my buddy in Boston or wherever, you know, wow, we got to closing attorneys, and you say it just like that too. All weird. No, I'm kidding. Okay, so you got to close the attorneys, but they still use title. They have a different system than we have out here in the West. But listen, the same principle applies. The group that the entity the outfit, if you will, that helps you that actually legally, closes, insures title, all that kind of thing, does the escrow process and title insurance, all that kind of stuff. That's what I'm talking about today. Okay, let me give you some examples about title, um, but the principle is the same. Bottom line, they work for you. Okay, you want to write this down again. Title companies work for you. You don't work for them. Okay. Now, when you're starting out in real estate, doing wholesale, maybe some fix and flips, it's all kind of new, jargon, all that kind of stuff. And you're kind of scared. It's big, big money. Talking about they say all those weird words. You know what I'm talking about. Listen, that's fine. Now you'll learn all that stuff. But title company works for you. Okay, not the other way around. Now, you may get some escrow officers who are going to try and tell you that that's, oh, this is the way we always do things, and it sounds illegal, or I'm going to talk to my manager. Fine, do all that. Okay, if you want, Mister and Miss, Mrs. Escrow officer. But bottom line, this is how it has to happen. Okay, they work for you. So, what do I mean by that? Why am I? What's the big deal? Those of you who've been doing real estate for a while, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Okay, if you're just starting out, listen, escrow, we need them. They're very important. Okay, they do all the closing stuff. When I say stuff, there's a lot to it, and frankly, I find it's not. I don't get off on. That's one of the reasons why I'm not an escrow officer or a title person is because it's not my thing, right? But they issue title insurance and make sure that the house is free and clear of liens, or if there are liens, they get them paid off, that kind of thing, so that you as a buyer have a proper solid house, that kind of thing. Have a settlement statement, make sure it's done correctly. They make sure that the loans are set up correctly. Payments, all that stuff. I mean, there's a lot of nuances to it. Okay. Well, a couple things though, I want to bring your attention because this is important that you understand. Okay, because we're doing all this stuff behind the scenes that you don't know a lot about. Okay, I've been doing this for many years, decades, and plenty of things I don't know about either. And frankly, I don't really care. I mean, they know that they know what they're doing and they get it done, that kind of thing, right? But just because they do stuff doesn't mean uh, they you work for them. Okay, so here's what I mean by that. We had an example the other day. So frustrating. So we put the earnest money down. Okay, and it was earnest money was, so the deal was we're going to purchase this lot. Okay, partners, I want to buy this lot, and we put the earnest money down. Okay, and the earnest money was going to be released after the inspection contingency was signed off on. Does that make sense? Okay. Whenever you do any kind of transaction, I've done plenty of videos on this before, and I'll say it to you again. Make sure you have an inspection contingency. You don't just go buy the house as is where it is. Okay, unless you get a huge discount. That's a whole other strategy. Okay. Every time, without fail, inspection contingency. Okay. And at that point, then the earnest money is released. Okay. Typically, when we do what we write a check, personal check, business check rather, and it goes to title. Title holds it till after the inspection contingency is signed off on. The seller signs off on it, and the buyer signs off on it. Okay, at which time that goes to the title company. Okay, and escrow says that's good. They release the check to the seller. Okay, that's good business practice. This is not legal advice. I'm not an attorney. I'm just telling you good business practice. Okay. Well, the other day, this is what we're supposed to do. Title, we had the same thing, right? The earnest money, uh, to title. that will be released once inspection contingency is done. Well, the seller, old guy in his 80s or whatever, didn't like the arrangement apparently, even though he signed off on in the purchase contract. So he calls his buddy there at title company and says, "Hey, I want to tear up that check, and I want a new one. I want to, go right to my bank account." So title, bless their heart, oh, that's Fred Jones calling, and he's 80, and he owns all this land. He's a big farmer. His name's really not Fred Jones, but anyway, rip it all up and make sure that they, the buyer gives us a better check, or wires the funds or whatever. So they ripped up the check. They ripped up the check, the earnest money check, just willy-nilly, fiat power, right? How do you think we responded to that one? You see the problem there? Who was in charge? Okay, not just some person in the title because they're buddies with the seller. Okay, whatever. It has to be in writing. You can't. They're not just going to do this kind of stuff. So needs to say titles. Having a little bit of an issue at the moment. Okay, that kind of stuff happens, and you've got to be wary of that. Okay, title can't do that. They can do certain things, but they cannot overstep their bounds, and you got to be careful of that stuff. I'm not saying titles. You be your best friend, really. You have to have the right title person. Okay, not all title companies created equal, and not all title, escrow officers are the same. Some are real jerks. Okay, I'll give you another example. I had a deal where I had this awesome farm deal, old farmhouse on 3-4 acres or whatever, old deal, and I got a huge discount. I can't remember what it was, but it was a really good deal. Okay, and so I'm in there, and it didn't. So where we live here in Idaho, there's water rights, and it's a high desert, so water is really important, and there's a difference between well water and irrigation water. You have access to come down to the mountains, things. Anyways, so what had happened in so I had got this property under contract, and I had a private lender that was lending money to rehab this place. Okay, well, at the time when I bought, one of the reasons why I got such a steep discount is the water rights. Although they were available, there was a bunch of shenanigans with the water district, which is a whole other video. Okay, so I couldn't access them. I'd have to do a lot of work to try and access the water, which we got sorted out in due course. But at the time of closing, that's just what it was. So the escrow person, who is no longer my escrow person, I might add, decides to take it on himself and explain this whole water system with my lender, okay, who doesn't know anything about water and all this stuff, and starts saying all this stuff about the property. I'm like, what are you doing? Okay, do you think I don't know about this? I made an agreement with my lender. We have a deal signed up. I know it's your deed of trust, the whole thing, and you're going to get involved in this whole process and try and tell them how the house isn't a good deal because the water rights aren't. You see the problem there? You see a problem with that statement. Whose job is that? It's my job. I'm the guy borrowing, and the lender. We have a relationship, that kind of thing. Nothing to do with some escrow person just trying to disclose everything. See what I'm saying? So needless to say, I don't have a relationship with that person anymore. Not she's a bad woman. Just it's not working out, right? So that's my point. I hope you understand this. When you find a good title company, make sure that they care about you and your privacy is honored, okay, and that they really want to help you out, okay, and they're not just going to start making these decisions for you that really go against what you need, what your business model is, okay. I bring this to your attention because listen. You may be like, well, why am I even watch this video? This guys don't get it. Title, whatever. Look, once you listen to this, take notes, remember this, because what's going to happen is in the future, you start doing some deals, you're going to realize, oh yeah, man, and he knew what he was talking about. These, title you really want them to work with you, okay, not against you. They have to be on your team. They have to help you, and in the so doing, you can make a good business relationship. Do a lot of business together. They feed you deals, you feed them deals, and everything. Everybody wins. Okay, we all have to be on the same page. All right, so that's my rant today. Be wise. Don't title companies work for you, not the other way around. Okay, and if you get tooled by some title person like I just did a couple times, move on to somebody else. Okay, you can do that. So listen, if you have any questions, call me. My phone number is right down here. Set up a free strategy session. We'll talk about real estate. I can help you. Tell me what you need, what you want. We'll get a game plan for you specifically. Talk to you very soon. You can do this. God bless. Talk soon.